commander Yevgeny Prigozhin being exiled to Belarus. Putin has asserted that justice will be served to the Wagner group leaders. He's also claimed that the Wagner fighters who avoided bloodshed and said that those who did not participate in the rebellion could sign contracts with the Russian military. Any mercenaries who chose not to join could go home or could follow Prigozhin to Belarus. Defense expert Major Mohammed Ali Shah still with us on the broadcast. What do you make of Putin's statements at this point of time?
See, at this point of time, one has to understand it's a very, very critical situation for Russia, irrespective whether the mutiny, the short-lived mutiny was staged or not, or whatever. There are different angles, different analyses, different versions of it, different speculations, guesswork is coming out. Now, there are a couple of them. One is that, it was all stage managed, and President Putin was trying to see who is going to stand by him and who are the traitors, to identify the traitors. That's one very, very important method in any war. Secondly, the leader of the Wagner group, Yevgeny Prigozhin, he could have overestimated his strength, and he could have fallen under the trap of the Americans, thinking that, okay, now we are indispensable, let's see what happens. And ultimately, they are being sent to exile to Belarus when President Putin spoke to and briefed President Alexander in detail about the entire situation. Now, President Putin, he has been a lieutenant colonel in the army himself. He has been the head of state as a prime minister, as a president, alternating between the two for over a decade. A rich experience. He's seen life on grassroots level. He's also seen life on 30,000 feet above mean sea level. He knows what he's doing. That's why, because he knows, he has that clarity, he does not listen to anyone. Now, when a person who is unforgiving, who doesn't listen to anyone, how could he have forgiven the Wagner group for mutiny? Another question that comes to everyone's mind. Now, because Wagner group has been his close aide, they've always stood by them, they've always given them imports, they've helped them out. So he has decided not to take action against them. Well, he could have forgiven right now if that is one case, but not forgotten. Action ultimately, if at all, if it wasn't staged, I'm talking about that scenario, action ultimately would be taken out, and the right treatment would be taken out on the Wagner chief. Where he was, in 2014, it was founded, in fact, when the Battle of the Donbass in Russia, when the battle was being fought. Look at the strength from 250 armed people, it grew to over 50,000 private army. Look at the company's growth in that much time. It's a mercenary, they have no principles. Any mercenary for that matter. Ramzan Kadyrov, the Shakirinian mercenary, came, he was promoted to a lieutenant general when the war broke out. He inducted his teenage son in the war. And where he has called it as a stab in the back. Now, whether it's all pre-planned, pre-staged by all of them to check on the traitors or not, it's a different story altogether. But at the end of the day, it's a trying time for Russia. Undoubtedly, it's a trying time for Ukraine as well, despite the fact that Ukraine is getting a lot of support. And Ukraine officials, key officials have said that the countdown for President Putin has started. That's the statement they've given, that it's going to be the end of Russia. Well, it's not very, very difficult. It's not that easy to beat the Russians. Russians are also very, very smart. They know what they are doing. So it's going to be a very, very tough scenario for them. And because it's going to be a tough scenario for them, it will spill out. It's going to be a tough scenario for the entire world. Yeah, I see that way.
Indeed,